and welcome back to another episode of Real Stories. Today we've got our guest, Tyler Terpstra. How's it going, Tyler?
It's going well.
That's awesome, man. So as per usual, we'll just get into it. What's your story, man?
So born and raised in Ontario, actually a little bit up the 401, Strathroy, Ontario. As you can tell by my difficult to pronounce last name, I am Dutch.
There you go.
And Strathroy is like half Dutch, half Portuguese.
Okay.
Yeah. Grew up in a Christian community. My parents both still live there, and my siblings. I have two siblings. They've moved away. We all moved away.
Okay.
We're all kind of equidistant from home base. Yep. Went to school there. Went to university here in Windsor.
Okay.
And actually, this is where I met my lovely wife, Jessica. And yep, after a couple years dating, we got married, had some kids.
Yeah.
And I work as an engineer in Detroit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. So you were chatting about growing up. So you grew up in Strathroy, went to high school there.
Actually, I went to high school in London, Ontario. My mom was a teacher in Strathroy, so went to the school that she taught at,
Okay.
which was a Christian elementary school, and the only Christian high school in the area was London. So they bused us to London. 45 minutes
to and from. Did you get all your homework done on the bus for that 45-minute ride?
No, it was like the least productive, but most socially engaging bus ride. I learned so many things.
Okay.
So many things on the bus.
Any that you're allowed to say on a podcast?
No.
All those things stay on the bus?
They stay
what
on
happens
the
on the bus stays on the bus?
Yeah, of course.
So you're an engineer by trade.
Yeah.
Why?
Absolutely. When I was in high school, it was like kind of split between two fields. Once I got to grade 11, grade 12, I liked numbers and I also liked science. And so it was either accounting or engineering, or like what my guidance counselor and teacher and parents were like, yeah, you'd probably be good at that. And although I like numbers, I couldn't really see myself doing accounting for the rest of my life, trying to balance spreadsheets. So in the end, was slightly favored toward engineering, and I'm very glad it ended up going that way. I didn't think my parents were surprised at that, but get to solve real world problems of like, why is this battery dying? Why is this engine wearing out too quickly? Why does the world work the way it does? And how are we going to make it work better?
That's awesome. So you said you went to school here in Windsor. So what was it like? Did you grow up Strathroy, small community? And what was the transition like for country boy? I know London's not that small by any means. So once you're going to school there, but what was it like coming to Windsor? Was there a lot of change? Was it easy?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I was very much an introvert, like reading books, playing video games. Not a lot of like, I'm going to go hang out with people or go to parties. It was very quiet. So coming to the University of Windsor, really enjoyed a lot of people like that. So we would read stuff together, play games together, hang out together. And so really got to make some friends that were very similar, engineers and adjacent engineers. People who failed out of engineering school, but originally were called to it and changed to something else. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, still in contact with a number of them today. And I think that going to university really helped me become more of who I was, but not knowing who I was at the time. I didn't know where that would develop. So,
okay. So you found meeting a bunch of new people and getting yourself into a new circumstance. Was that the first time you were ever that like away from home in that context?
Yeah, certainly for that distance and that. So it was really growing up, right? I think I did most of my growing up in university. I'm still growing up, probably, my wife would say.
All men are, I think, still.
Yeah, I think so. I really enjoyed the friends that I made in university. Got to play a lot of board games with them, a lot of strategy games. I really enjoy strategy games on the computer, like Red Alert.
Okay.
And StarCraft. So had a lot of that.
I have played a few of those games myself.
Yeah, well,
old school. That we should
get them out.
Get them out. Play some Red Alert. Test the coils.
Yeah. Yeah. And we actually had a tradition that we started at university, which is at the end of exams. So engineers have lots of exams. Some others don't have as many, but we would play Axis and Allies after exams, like as long as it took. So however early into the morning, we would play a game and
play a game of Axis and Allies. It's that is it's Risk on steroids.
Risk on steroids.
That's how I've played it a few times as well.
That's
a good game.
We actually started playing it at work, actually, so we played at lunch, and it would take like
just in case work's
5 months. 5 months
to play around.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you were talking earlier, you have siblings.
I do.
All right. Yeah. And you said that a few of them have moved kind of all over the place, but let's go back a little bit. So you grew up with them.
I did.
What was the Terpstra
household
like? I'm just making sure I'm saying the name right. My brain's trying to process that.
Yeah. So I'm the oldest.
Okay.
And I definitely think I fit a lot of the oldest stereotypes. I have a middle sister and a youngest brother.
Okay.
And probably in the end, now that we're older, my brother and I are the most alike. But certainly we played off each other. There was some sibling dynamics. So my sister is very much like often the organizer, orchestrator. I'm the one that my dad got to do stuff. Like, let's go chop wood. Let's go fix this outside. Whereas my sister was like the one directing my brother to do stuff. Maybe following in that mold. Yeah, but we had a pretty good dynamic growing up, but being like 2 years apart, the three of us, we didn't do the most things together. It was often like we read books together, we watch movies together. But as we got older, we got to have more things in common and just hang out together.
Cool. So you said they all moved about the same distance away. So where are each of them?
Yeah, so I am in Windsor, so about 2 hours from Strathroy, London. My brother is in Guelph, just beside Kitchener, and my sister is even further from there, but just in a different direction. She's living on a dairy farm in Drayton. She married a country boy.
Drayton.
I
don't know where that is.
It's a very small town.
Okay, but she married a country boy. She's a farm.
Yeah,
they
she's
run
a farm girl. Together. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
So is it fun to go up to the farm and hang out at the farm, or do you
get
to that
we were there this summer. We did some family photos there.
Okay.
And it was great. My sister just had our nephew, so he's old enough to get family photos taken. So the kids all ran around the farm. Didn't get into too much trouble, but yeah, we had some good times there as a family. Getting the iconic wall shot.
The wall shot. Yeah. Everybody in their
height,
like in the families and the heights and all that.
And thank God for Photoshop can make all the kids smile at once.
Just replace the faces.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, that's definitely a benefit in today's world. I hated family photography sessions. It's my least favorite thing. My wife likes them. Yeah. I do not. Because it's just like, okay, just take photos at the house. Why do we have to go somewhere and get all dressed up?
It's an event.
It is an event.
Exactly.
One I'd prefer to skip, but I'm not allowed because I'm supposed to be in the photos. So I oblige. Yes. She doesn't make me do it often.
That must be nice. We do it pretty often. I'm used to it.
There you go. You've been.
It's my act of love to my wife to make sure good photos can happen. So at least as good as it can be.
So that's bringing up the wife. So you met her where and when?
It's a great story. So I think I was in third year university, probably just around there, because I think she was in second year. So I'm a year older than her, and we actually met. There's a church just beside University of Windsor called UCC, University Christian. Our faith really brought us together. That was a formative church. We were there for many years. We had our first two kids while we were at that church, so it was quite some time. And it didn't help. Sorry, it certainly helped that she was Dutch as well.
Bringing the Dutch contingent together.
That's right.
So when you look back at those early years, so you got together how long after that meeting? When was it you figured out that you wanted to?
So I graduated in 9. I'm going to do the math.
Okay. Okay.
So I graduated in 9. I think I started dating her in, so third year would have been 7, 8.
Yeah.
And we got married in 2011.
Okay. So you met with the paintbrushes, but how long after that experience was the first date? Did you like ask her out? Or like how did that go?
So I think I met her in the fall. We had like some youth retreat in the winter where I got a soccer ball kicked in my face, and that started a whole chain of events. And
Deserved, undeserved?
Undeserved. That was
Okay.
one of her friends. You know, she might have said something different, whether it was deserved or not. But Jessica, she was playing hard to get. She was like very like I would say flirty,
Okay.
but like wasn't willing to like to start into the dating. She was like, maybe I'm content being single. And then I think just I was able to just show my care, show my handsomeness and
A little
a
persistence.
little bit of persistence. I think I like won over her friends first, maybe, and
Oh,
they
okay.
are giving her some elbows. Like maybe he would be somebody to at least get to know a bit better. So I think our first date, when she finally said yes, was at when we used to have a Tony Roma's
Okay.
in Windsor, and so we used to make a tradition of going there. We won't have them anymore, so we have to go somewhere else.
So you got to go somewhere else.
Yeah,
So awesome. And then, so you guys got married in 2011?
correct.
All right. So
Yeah.
that puts you at 14.
Going on 15, 14
Going
and a
on
half.
15.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, crazy how fast time goes. And so
Yeah.
you mentioned you had your first two kids while you're at UCC,
Yeah,
and then you now have a third.
we
Right?
do.
So
We
you have
do.
you have three
Three
three boys.
Yeah.
So when you get back, so again, 2011, young, married. How old were you when you actually had your first son?
2 years after that.
Okay,
Yeah. So
2013.
2014. So yeah, I guess
Oh.
2.5 years. Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Just depends on where the year in the timeline is.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
About that. So yeah, 14, 16, 18, 2014, 2016, 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when you had your first child, what was that like?
Wild. Yeah, and it certainly our first whole birthing process, it was a long time for Jessica. It took like over a few days, or she might say a week, from like starting to actually having him, and it was wild at the hospital and walking around with her and trying to help as much as a husband can, which is really nothing. You're providing support as best you can, and holding him in my arms the first time was, and I had the picture in my head. It was wonderful. It's wonderful, and it's been great. And being a dad of three boys, man, it's a challenge, but it's a good challenge, right? It certainly helped me become a better man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you think about like the way your kids have changed you, what would be the biggest change? You say a better man, but in what way would you say you've changed the most?
I think you have to become like a way more selfless. You can't do everything you want, certainly anymore. You're putting if you're putting God first and your wife second, the kids are like before you, wherever you fall on the list. I remember like there was like a day when I was like, Jessica, I can't play video games anymore. Like I can't play strategy games. I don't have hours to devote to this anymore. It's got to go to these boys. So yeah, I'm more physical. Definitely spending more time outside with them, and getting into their hobbies. Daxton's doing pickleball now, so I'm going to help him with that. But more challenged with my faith as well. Of okay, how am I going to set the right example for them? Been reading through the Gospel of Mark with Daxton recently, and it's been great, right? And watching him like thinking about questions and what we can talk about after sometimes like that. And it's been good.
So learning to study the word with your kids. That's
what a blessing that is. Like it's one of those things I wouldn't have ever thought like, oh man, like that's going to be a highlight, but it is. It really
right.
is.
Yeah, you probably were thinking one day they'll be able to play these strategy games with
Yeah.
me. right?
We're getting there. Daxton plays chess, so that's the
Yes.
gateway.
Actually, I might have been over the other night and might have accidentally beat him at chess.
Oops. Good. He needs a
Because
challenge.
he was playing one of the strategies. It's a 4 or 5 move to basically checkmate you. But if you defend it, then it put him into a
Then you're in
problem.
trouble.
Because that was his only strategy. So it was fun to play him. No, it's
Yeah.
kids are an amazing blessing, and it gives you a great opportunity to learn a lot about yourself. So when you look at, as you continue to grow in your family and you grow in your faith, what would be some of the lessons, again, if you're talking to the younger version of yourself, you're like, maybe you've learned this if I could have at like 17, 16, if your own kids were basically able to skip a learning that you went through.
Skip the hard way and just
Skip the hard way. Yeah, like we all know that this is the right way, and there's all the evidence in scripture. There's all the evidence around that tells you like this is probably going to cost you something if you're on this road, and yet we still for some reason do. What would be that, looking at it going like, here's my life experience. I'd rather disclose and be humble before the kids so that they can avert. What would be that experience? Or
yeah. Well, there's lots of things, and I think like we as parents are me and my wife are trying to like, hey, this is what I did, right? Like I think now we're talking about things like not lying and not stealing. And we talk about the things that we did as kids, right? It's like, hey, this is how lying got me into trouble.
Right.
But like probably big picture, it would be like the normal young guy things of like, don't get into pornography. That's going to bring you down bad roads.
Right.
Treat your wife with respect, but also like encourage her in the ways that like God is leading, right? There's lots of ways that you guys, if somebody was in a relationship, it's like you can both be going the ways that you both agree with, but if it doesn't agree with God, you're still going to get into trouble.
Right.
I would say one of the giant lessons I learned was just because you're helping at church doesn't mean you're serving God.
Right. Just because you think you're doing what you're supposed to be doing doesn't mean you actually are. Yeah. Like,
that's right.
I think that's been one of the bigger lessons in my life. Actually, a conversation I had similar to that this morning with a younger gentleman was, you have to remember, it's not about what you're doing. It's about why you're doing it. If you're doing it for the purposes of God, because he's petitioned your heart, then it's good. But if he's actually called you away from something you've been doing and told you to go somewhere else and you don't listen because you're still serving, then you're still not in the right place anymore.
Exactly.
Even though you're doing the same thing you were doing before, but the spirit moved over here, you don't follow, those things can kind of come down on you. And eventually God gets a hold of you and kind of, 1 second, you're coming over here whether you like it or not. And that's usually nowhere near as fun, as pleasant as it would be as if you were just obedient.
Well, but part of that is the challenge of like, what would I tell a young man? It's like, well, listen to God. But I didn't know how to yet, right? I wasn't like, I didn't have the ear for the Holy Spirit leading me.
Mm-hmm.
So I could tell young me that, and he'd be like, yes, I will do that, and have no idea what I meant or no idea how to actually listen.
So there's a great answer. So then a practical application, how do you listen?
Yeah. Go through a bunch of hard stuff.
Learn. So there's no skip button in your mind then?
In my journey, no. I don't think there was a skip button. I think one thing I certainly learned or saw in my wife was like, wow, she learned to listen early, or maybe God's voice was more apparent to her early, and she was able to hear from him in like high school already. And I was like, that's really cool. That doesn't happen to me. But I think over the years, over hard things, right, of getting things wrong and be like, trying to figure out like, where did I go wrong? Reading scripture, listening to other older Christians, wiser Christians, helping instruct me, could have been able to cultivate that listening ear.
Got you. So some mentors in your life would have maybe been how you would have been able to walk through it more. So it wasn't that you could have done something different, but you could have put people around you who could have seen things differently. Absolutely. And probably helped come alongside to advise and bring you through things sooner.
Absolutely. My wife and I, we had one of the moments of our reckoning moments of our marriage where I was like, I and her were both doing what we thought was right. Maybe at the time, maybe we weren't communicating as well as we could have been, but marriage, you can always communicate better is what we're learning.
Mm-hmm.
And we had this moment where we ended up being sitting across from a counselor. And I think another thing I would tell my young self is everyone can use counseling.
Mm.
None of us cannot improve in ways that an expert can help us. So we're sitting across from a counselor, and he said, like, why did no one at your church like talk to you? Like, you're way off the rails. And we're just like, oh, like maybe we're not surrounding ourselves with the right kind of wise people, like you said.
Yeah, interesting is again getting an external perspective that gives some clarity to what's going on. And so even in, I think like you speak about the church, and we have a lot of brothers who are around us, but sometimes we all get into the same kind of muck.
Yeah.
Like we don't actually go about figuring out how do we get out of the muck. We actually are comforted by the fact we're all in the muck.
Yeah.
Right? Like we all struggle in the same ways, and so it kind of gives credence to the struggle being okay. Even though realistically the objective is to move beyond the struggle, to get out of those moments, to bring ourselves up. And so again,
to pull each other up.
Well, that's it. But one has to be out of it. Like usually you need somebody who's not still in it and helping you draw out, right? And that's why it's very dangerous. The echo chamber, these ideas that all stay the same. If everyone's telling you the same thing, you probably don't have enough opinions.
Yeah.
And because in my own life, when I've looked at those similar ideas, it's like if all I hear is yes, 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 that is sometimes concerning because even if it is I think that's an okay, like okays and maybe not all the way up at yes, but some pushback and some checking. Yeah. Otherwise, it's like you're not really getting any discernment. You're just getting what you want to hear. They're just feeding into it. And that
if you're only hearing yes, do they really know you?
Right. Yeah. And so again, and I think people, again, it's a question of do they know that they can speak that way into your life? Have you given them the permission to? Because sometimes in life, it's like we think that they would speak honestly with us. And in some ways they are. They're as honest as they can be to the point where they're comfortable. Yeah. But so much of life is like in marriage and in real relationships, there's a lot of stuff that struggle and strife actually build to better things when you converse versus letting them lie. And I've learned that throughout my life. When you have the hard conversations, usually they're not as hard or as bad as you think they're going to be. Absolutely. Most of the time.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. We build things up in our mind, or the enemy says, that's going to be so wrecking. Don't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a quick pivot. I'm going to go back to Strathroy.
Sure.
So as a child, so little kid, what was like that one thing you got to do as a kid in Strathroy that was cool, that was like you looked forward to, whether it was with a parent, at school, something that was just unique though, that isn't kind of everywhere else?
I think there was a cool park that we went to.
Okay.
It was like right off the Sydenham River, and it would like flood every like spring, so you can like wade through the park. And it was pretty cool.
Waiting for the flood.
As a kid, you got to wade like and get really wet and messy and have fun. It wasn't too far from our house.
Okay, so that was every year you're like, okay, it's coming. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
So did you ever like shove your brothers and sisters down into the muck at all? Did you ever?
I am sure that happened. I don't remember it.
Do they remember it?
Maybe.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So we haven't actually chatted about your parents.
Sure.
So we've chatted about the kids. So your mom and dad and life in Strathroy, and you said they still are there to this day. What did your parents do? Like, who are they?
Yeah. And we moved around a little bit. My dad was a banker. He's retired now.
Okay.
But he was a bank manager for a while. And so we moved around to little branches around the Strathroy area. So lived a little bit in Strathroy, then Park Hill, then Mount Bridges, and then back to Strathroy. So yeah, he worked for a small credit union and kind of moved around. And my mom was a Christian school teacher, taught grade 5, most of my memory.
Okay.
So we moved around, but she kept working at the same place because we kept just like going around that geographic center. They were wonderful parents, and I really appreciated them. certainly my mom always was like encouraging me um, to be like intentional about my faith,
Mm-hmm.
and I really appreciated that about her. And my dad was very practical. He grew up on a farm, so it's like doing his best to like teach me good work ethic as much as you can in the suburbs,
Mm-hmm.
and teach me the right way to go. So
Oh, so farming. Your dad grew up on the farm.
he did.
Ah,
Yeah.
so is that where your sister, like, were your grandparents on a farm when you were
Yeah.
growing up? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, she got a bit of taste of that. And my dad certainly tried to give that to her. So
Ah,
they both have an interest in horses, for example. And yeah, so there's a little bit of that farming in our blood.
you have any plans to farm in the future?
I think I'm okay. I think
You prefer the
it'd
engineering?
be cool to live on some land. I would enjoy some some exploring and going into the woods with the boys. That's always fun.
Right.
And my parents live on like I think it's 25 acres now, so they
Oh,
have some
okay.
woods that kids enjoy exploring and stuff like that. When there aren't lots of mosquitoes or bugs, because
That's
they're city
awesome.
kids, so they're like,
Oh,
ah.
who likes bugs?
Exactly.
That is one of the problems whenever you go to places, you end up finding new, it's really beautiful and cool, but then there's all these other things that are there. You're like, oh, no, I don't like the bugs. I don't like the
Yeah,
snakes.
they don't show
like
up in the pictures.
No,
No.
it's always looks so much better in the movies.
Yeah.
If you were going to leave one thing with the listeners who've listened to your story, what would you want them to know about you?
I don't know. Uh,
Like your life, your experiences with God, anything that like you'd want to leave with them, just a life lesson.
Life lesson. Oh, I think I'd go back to the counseling thing. Like anyone can use counseling. It helps when either you're in trouble or your relationships are in trouble. It's a great way to have a third party who's a bit neutral, who has a bit of experience, help you get back to the way you could go. And certainly, so there's some great Christian counselors in the Windsor area. We used Scott Fleming, unofficial plug to him. But yeah, I think that's been something huge in my life that has really helped me.
Awesome.
Alongside God, he used that to really get me back on the right path.
We can all use an amazing sounding board at times, and whether it's a brother or sister in Christ or whether it's the Lord himself, it's always good to be listening. So
Yeah.
Thanks so much for being on, guys. It's been another great episode here at Real Stories. We'll see you next time.
Thanks.